Despite the fact that the newest entry to the Marvel Cinematic Universe finished at the very low end of the box office projections, the mainstream media certainly made a ton of noise about the opening weekend for Wakanda Forever. $330 million global opening. Certainly nothing to scoff at, but the reality is, despite the positivity, when you do look at this number, especially in comparison to the way other MCU movies opened this year, it's much less than they were expecting. They wanted 365, 370. They wanted over a $200 million domestic opening, and they did not get that. And now, with the first Monday being a good indicator of what it's going to do in its second weekend, it looks like Wakanda Forever may be headed for the worst second weekend in MCU box office history. Black Panther sequel Wakanda Forever cools down considerably in Monday box office after huge weekend. And if no one would expect a movie on a Monday after its opening weekend, after it was so highly promoted, no one expect on a Monday for it to keep up that pace because it's a weekday, because all these things, of course. But by tracking how much it does fall off, you can kind of predict what it might do that weekend, the next weekend, what the energy is, what the positivity or the word of mouth is surrounding this movie. And if this is any indication, it is much less than they expected, and that second weekend might be a massive fucking drop-off. After a mammoth first weekend, Wakanda Forever, the sequel to Black Panther, slowed down considerably on Monday. The Monday box office was a respectable 11 million. Believe me, any movie would be happy to have that number. But Exhibitor Relations points that after a $181 million weekend, the 72% drop is a surprise. It's much less than Mondays for this year's previous Marvel releases, Thor: Love and Thunder and Doctor Strange 2. Why is that important? Why is it important that it's much less, tracking well behind something like Thor: Love and Thunder? Well, for one very simple reason. Thor: Love and Thunder had the worst second weekend box office drop of any MCU movie in history. Thor: Love and Thunder sets unwanted record with big box office drop. And a lot of people tried to ignore it then. It ended up being a massive disappointment for Marvel, just like so many had anticipated. And now, with the numbers we're getting from Wakanda Forever, it looks like it might be on an even worse trajectory. This shaded number right here is where most movies are going to fall into. Based on the opening weekend, there's like a cone of projection of where it should end up. Already, it's snuck way under that line. And the reason is this number, a 73% drop-off for this first Monday. That is a big, big number. Look at it compared to the first Black Panther. Now, no one expects it to track this well. This was a phenomenon. This was crazy what it did. A $40 million Monday, only a 33% drop. But something more close to 56, 60, 63%. That's hopefully what they wanted. That tells you that there's really good word of mouth after this, that it's holding really well. Instead, it's tracking at 73% drop. Let's compare that to Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, shall we? Which had a 67% drop in its second week. Very, very bad. 65%. That was the drop-off for Multiverse of Madness. What about Thor: Love and Thunder? What was that drop-off? 63% for that first Monday. And what had, again, like we said with Thor: Love and Thunder, it ended up being the worst MCU second weekend box office drop ever. That certainly doesn't bode well when it comes to Wakanda Forever. Now, it's just a Monday, but it's not like it's a very special Monday or anything like that that would keep people away from the theaters. It's not like anything special was going on. So what is the reason for that? Could it be the word of mouth? Could it be the runtime? Could it be, what combination of all of these things could it possibly be? I know when you look at that Rotten Tomatoes number, it certainly looks great. Metacritic, the audience reaction, is not the same as it is on Rotten Tomatoes. There's really no way to make those numbers make any sense right now. Wakanda Forever is a movie that cost $250 million to make. That's the production budget. You add on the marketing on top of that, which is about half of that production budget on top of what you already have. Then you have the box office cut. 2.5 times the production budget is the thumb roll, which means if they didn't spend any extra money anywhere on this movie, that the break-even point would be $625 million. I don't think it's going to have any trouble getting there. I've said that time after time after time. For weeks and months, I've said that. However, With numbers like that, you do have to start worrying about getting to that $800 million number. And if it doesn't get there, this is a movie that they were saying this could be the first billion-dollar MCU movie we've had since Spider-Man No Way Home. This could break $1 billion. It doesn't have a fucking shot in hell of doing that. Not with these international numbers, not with no China release, and certainly not with what looks to be potentially the worst second weekend drop in history. Now, maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe it's just a weird thing. Maybe that'll correct itself. Maybe people go out there for the weekend. I don't know. But right now, the way these numbers are tracking, more bad news for Marvel and for Wakanda Forever. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.